gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, and something to me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Roads Yet Traveled. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you were up, and let's go! Alright. Sighing, I take the board and write some pathetically simple problems on it, double-checking to make sure I don't make a fool of myself. Try to explain it all on my fingers, which really makes me question the purpose of all this. Fortunately, Marrow seems to understand what I'm trying to explain. Well, it's reassuring to see that mathematics seem to have a common basis no matter where you come from. Thank you for that. Sorry if this isn't the most interesting thing, but I believe any bit of knowledge shared is truly a miracle, even if it is just understanding your numeral system. I chuckle. I guess it must be fascinating for him, especially as a man, dog, of science, to see how other species go about solving mathematical equations. Not to say I'm not fascinated by all this in a strange sort of way. It's just different. I consider breaking out the Pythagorean theorem next, but I hear the door open as a surprisingly mopey Merrick walks into the hallway. I don't think he's taking his new assignment very well. I just hope he doesn't take it out on me. Doc, what are you doing in here? I didn't let you in yet. Oh, taking up the role of bodyguard so soon, are we? As physician, I am to have access to him at all times, with or without your approval. Also, I just opened the door. Marrow is my personal doctor? Seems like that makes sense based on the fact that I haven't seen any other doctors around. Merrick doesn't seem too happy with his answer. Can't imagine he appreciates him going over his head, especially not with the dour mood he's already in. Please don't flaunt your credentials at me, Doc. It's enough already with the chief, making me look like a fool. What are you even doing in there? That don't look like a physical to me. I'm sorry, Merrick, but that was rude of me. I was merely trying to make a joke. And I am trying to communicate with them using images. Look, this is their numeral system. Isn't it fascinating? They use this system of 10 digits, just like us. He holds the board up to the window like a proud parent showing off their child's work. Childish work, it is indeed. And I definitely should have used some more impressive problems. If I could remember any. That's their numeral system? Looks like illegible gibberish. I've seen kids with better paw writing skills than that. Now be nice. I understand it's just fine. I'm sure they just aren't used to our writing implements. Come, and join us. Let's see how well you write then, Merrick just gives Doc a confused look. Doc, I can't come in, remember? What? Oh, my, of course. How foolish. Well, we can come to you. How about that? Wait, why can't he come in? No response but empty stares. Right, of course, no real answers yet. That would be too easy. I try to ignore it and move on, grabbing the stool from my desk and sitting next to the window. I feel a bit bad that Marrow has to sit on the ground, but he doesn't seem to mind. So, since they understand us but we can't fully understand them, I decided we should just ask them questions and see how they respond and what they can draw. Do you have any questions in mind? Merrick seems wholly uninterested until a brow raises, and he capitulates to some question burning in the back of his mind. Yeah, I got a question. Alright, go ahead and ask. Alright. Oh. So, what are you, some kind of furless freak? He can't help himself but laugh. Does he really think that's the epitome of humor? I simply scoff and turn away. Doc, however, does not seem so pleased. Merrick? I'm aware you are having a bad day, but if you take it out on our guest, I will make it your problem. Do you understand me? Oh, what, you're allowed to make a joke, but suddenly I'm not? There's a moment of tension between the two. Palpable seconds of unbroken eye contact, and a slight growl of unclear origin. Finally, Merrick simply scoffs and turns away, as if to signal the end of the dispute. Merrick is not quite finished, though. Apologize! Huh? Merrick, please apologize to our guest. You're kidding, right? Do I sound like I'm making a joke? Lest you forget, they are fully capable of understanding us and have heard everything you've said and done to them. Merrick's eyes narrow as they flip between the two of us. Doc's stern expression starkly contrasts my confusion. I mean, the joke wasn't really that bad. Hell, it was almost a funny thing to say. Situation aside, I suppose Doc just wants to make sure it doesn't get any worse. Fortunately for the both of us, Merrick just sighs and relaxes a bit. I'm sorry for what I said. It's not your fault you're such a freak. He can't help himself, it seems, as he bursts out laughing. It's such a dumb joke, but I found myself stifling a laugh as well, which seems to surprise both him and Doc. You're lucky our guest has a good sense of humor. I'd come out there and... Yeah, Doc, I know. Listen, Guest? Doc, do we know their name yet? You've surely been in the room when we've said it, haven't you? It's Rias. Must have missed it. Anyways, Brius, I'm sorry for calling you a freak. But I want to apologize for tackling you. I was doing my job, and I will continue to do so. Even if it means working as your bodyguard. It seems surprisingly genuine coming from a guy who just started cackling after calling me a freak. 1 second, y'all. Water time. Even if what I said was extremely begrudgingly. I shouldn't expect everyone here to be as nice as Merrick. Maybe he isn't such a bad guy, just a dumbass. I don't think I'll have a chance to get to know him more, I suppose. At least I can try to get back at him if nothing else. Thank you, I say with a nod. Doc still seems a bit upset, but seeing how I reacted, he decides to let it go. Well, I would appreciate it if you could learn some bedside table manners. If our guest is fine, then I am fine. You think we could get back to the matter at hand, though? Oh, yeah. I got a real question this time, promise. So, like, where are you from? Did you just crawl out of a vent or something? Oh, I suppose that is a decent question, but I don't know how to answer it at all. The first thing that comes to mind is to draw a map, but that might not make that might not make sense. I'm really doubtful that I'm still on Earth at this point, which is not something I expected to think so casually. Well, how about a star chart? Wait, I don't know how to draw that. What am I thinking? I guess the best I can do right now is try to draw the solar system? Oh man, I really hope I get the order of the planets right. Let's see, Mercury, then Mars, then Venus. Wait, no. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, the rest. I think it's Neptune, then Uranus? No, that's backwards. Shit, where do those asteroid belts go? No, the sun isn't supposed to have sunglasses. That might just confuse them. Ah, I almost forgot Pluto! I make sure to also draw a large exaggerated arrow pointed directly at Earth. Yeah, that rule they changed. It's like that rule they changed how to classify a planet. Just seems like it was almost tailor-made just to fuck with Pluto. Like, a planet must have sufficient enough mass to clear other celestial bodies out of its orbit or something like that. It was... Okay, why? I make sure to also draw a large exaggerated arrow pointed directly at Earth. Ah, I love science, but the actual remembering stuff in application was never my strong suit. Here, I think this is right. I present my crude drawing of a partially smudged out solar system. They both seem very interested. Oh my, so many planets! What is that, 9? Well, wait, that raises more questions than it answers. Maybe they just drew it wrong. It looks like he erased some of it already. No, I doubt it. Look, they put rings around these planets, which would be completely out of place, and this arrow. That's a nice drawing. Ah! In my shock, I dropped the whiteboard. We were so deep in conversation, none of us noticed that the door had opened and more visitors had arrived. Oh, hello. It's the technician. Oh, it's him. The dog I ran into in the walls while trying to run away. The chief did say he was looking for him. Merrick. Trying to communicate with pictographs and drawings, I see. Any progress? Reaching down to lift up the board to show Tyr, I'm simply stopped by Merrick. Yes, sir. He was able to communicate his numeral system to me as well as some of their uses for it. He taught you math? Well, no, but I learned what their digits look like. The chief looks a bit unimpressed. Well, any progress is something, I suppose. Be sure to explain it to me in your report. Oh, and look who I bumped into. I was on my way to the labs and I managed to find him fixing a broken pipe. 1 second, y'all. Water time. He was trying to bury himself and work again. Ha! Well, I needed to fix some things on the lower floors as well, sir. You have subordinates, don't you? Yes, but we're a bit understaffed, as you know. And I don't like forcing jobs onto them that I can just get done quickly. The walls aren't your home, Director. Please take a break. Now, really, I must be off. Goodbye, Rias. He gives me a small wave as he leaves and I return it in kind. I wonder where he learned my name, though. I guess Merrick told him. Speaking of Merrick, why'd he keep me from showing the chief my crappy drawing? The new dog saw it already, as did Merrick. I'll have to ask him about it later. Once he leaves, I retrieve the whiteboard and dust it off a bit. The new guy seems to be enjoying my drawing, and I realize I can finally get a good look at him while not running for my life. On the surface, I'd say he looks almost more intimidating than any of the dogs I've seen so far, not discounting how scary Merrick is. Still, it might just be because he looks the most wolf-like to me. His fur is unkempt and a little dirty. Not that I'm a good judge of that, and I can see some definitely pronounced muscle coming out from underneath it. Or at least his fur is muscle-shaped. This is all without even mentioning his arm. Everyone's looking at me. Oh no, I've zoned out for too long. I turned to Merowyn. Let's try to move on. Maybe another question, perhaps? No one speaks up. I'm still not entirely sure who this new dog is besides his name and some job titles that were thrown around. I look to Marrow and point to our new guest. Me? Oh, sorry, right, how rude of me. Rias, this is our head of maintenance, Director Tiirnan. From his report, you've already met. In a way. Calling the interaction we had and meeting each other is taking a lot of liberties, but I suppose it is at least a start. I wave to him and he shyly but politely responds. I notice in the corner of my eye that Merrick just scoffs and takes a step away. Should I be in there, or... Are you an idiot? Didn't the emergency team brief you? They said a lot of things, and I was there for a long time. We still don't know if this thing here is dangerous or not. Also, he could be sick or carrying dangerous diseases. We have no idea. He's in there for your safety, dumbass. Marruk? What? Merowyn sighs, and Merrick just rolls his eyes. But fortunately, Rune seems unfazed. Oh, okay. So, wait, how are we asking them questions if they can't understand us? And are you going to be alright in there, then? Won't you get sick? They understand us. It's just one way for some reason. And I'll be fine. I'm tested constantly, and I'll be fine. Did you not get my memo? It outlined most of this. Sorry, Doctor. I was working almost all last night. The Chief actually found me on my way to go get breakfast. It's lunchtime. Rune just blinks. Yes. Right. Well, anyways, feel free to ask them anything. They've proven to be courteous and happy to share. Speaking of, though, Merrick, do you mind fetching lunch? Rune seems to be thinking of a question or just lost in thought. Yeah, fine, Doc. Same thing, or... No, just porridge for Rias, but get whatever you'd like for yourself and Rune. Tell them I sent you. For me and... Merrick sternly interrupts with a curt. Yes, Merrick. Scowling, Merrick leaves her after a quick nod. Once the door closes, Doc lets out a small sigh. 1 second, y'all. Water time. Sorry about him, Rias. I'll talk to him later. I don't know what's gotten into him today. He puts a massive paw to his brow and starts massaging as if he's got a headache. I decide to put a hand on his shoulder. It's okay, but thank you. He looks to me, maybe a little surprised, but smiles. He then turns to Rune, who still looks like he's lost behind his own eyes. I would like to apologize for Security Chief Saris's rudeness to you as well, Director Tiirnan. Rune just blinks and looks between us as if he was just woken up from a dream. What? Was he? What? Was he? I didn't notice. Oh, I thought of a question, though. Is he being serious? Maybe he can teach me how to ignore him as well. Do you have plants where you come from? I just blink in response. I'm a bit confused. Is this the question he took so long to think about? He notices I'm just staring at him. They usually grow on the ground. Lots of leaves and stuff. It's okay if you don't. Chuckling and shaking my head, I get to drawing. Plants were never really my strong suit. Also, drawing was never my strong suit, but I can at least do some outlines. Both him and Doc lean in and take a look at my crude attempt at drawing my planet's local and not so local flora. Oh, how pretty! There aren't enough plants up here. Back home, we have these trees that have this really nice, bark. That, it smells good. I'm glad you have plants too, though. Thanks? Wait. Up here? What does he mean by that? Oh my, such interesting variation. We have similar kinds here, although I'm sure they could be more different upon closer inspection. On the topic, Rias, I was curious. As it seems you have been fine in our biosphere, I find it safe to assume you breathe oxygen, yes? Right. Not choking or suffocating and all that. I nod, giving Doc his answer. As I expected. But still, a relief. Taking care of any being is a large task, especially when you know so little. We've also been able to figure out that you indeed exhale carbon dioxide similarly to us, if you were curious. I guess I haven't thought about it really, but it is good to know. At least interesting, if nothing else. I gave Doc a courteous nod, then turned to Rune as he seems to have once again slipped deep into thought. Doc notices as well, and we cautiously observe him together. Eventually, Doc gently knocks on the window. Director Tiirnan? Are you okay out there? What? Oh, sorry, I was... No apologies needed, Director. While this may be a professional operation, there is no need to overexert yourself. I appreciate that you could be here at all to help. Thanks? Of course. Well, have you thought of any other questions, perhaps? Me? Nope. Doc just blinks. You weren't just now thinking of other things to ask? Surely you were curious about our guest, though, no? Well, sure, but I don't... The door opens. Really? You know what to ask? Merrick takes a quick look around before just leaving a tray where the door should be and retreating to his bench. There's a moment of silence where no one really moves. The only sound is the crinkling of foil. Doc eventually gets up and grabs the tray from me, but not before handing Groom what looks like another wrapped meal. It's a painfully silent lunch. Conversation must have escaped when the door opened. I decide to just try and enjoy my porridge or whatever it's called. It's not as bad as the second time. Merrick eventually yawns and checks his monitor. Damn. Only the 16th mark? This day is never gonna end. Alright, guys and gals, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks, or tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.